You can play these as straight eighths, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 as an example to begin with, or even just quarter notes if you want to. And then one of the first variations I think it's good to do is to change the rhythmic pulse, the subdivision, into eighth note triplets. Instead of thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, we think 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. So we're squeezing 3 notes evenly into one beat, right? That means instead of playing 8 eighth notes in a bar of 4, we're going to play 12 eighth note triplet-based eighths. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, as opposed to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's not even a bad thing to be able to go between the two, actually, you know, to be able to subdivide straight away like that, all right? Change the subdivision. Of course, you're squeezing more notes into the same tempo. It's a little harder. Also changes where sometimes you might want to place the accent, and that's a cool thing too. Now, one little bonus exercise for you as well. This is kind of a cool one, and I was showing one of my more advanced students this the other day, and you know, when you're practicing stuff, it's always important to keep it interesting, all right? Practice, even though it's not generally as fun as playing a gig, depending on the gig, it's great to combine different concepts in one practice idea. So, as well as doing a chromatic scale in this exercise, I was thinking, well, why not add an arpeggio into the mix as well? So let's say I'm going to outline a G dominant 7 arpeggio, right? And a chromatic scale from G to G. So this one's going to go up from the low G, and I'm just going to play this slowly first. And I'm just thinking in terms of even eighths here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So I came back down at 2 octaves of a G dominant 7 arpeggio. Now, just to play that G7, you've got multiple ways to play it. As I'm starting on this G with my pinky or fourth finger, I'll probably choose to go G, F, D, B, but maybe instead of playing that G, I might try this shift. So I go G, F, D, B, G, F, D, B, G. So, all right, so now we have a chromatic scale up and a dominant 7 arpeggio descending over 2 octaves, right? If we play this as, I'm just going to tap my foot for reference, right? If I play this as even eighths, it's fairly easy. But what if I start making these into triplet eighths? So I'm going to think 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. All right. Notice that on the descent, 3 and a 4 and a. It doesn't land on a downbeat. Ba ba da da ba da 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 da. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. It's on the last triplet eighth of beat 3, that arpeggio. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. So you end on this last upbeat. It feels slightly unsettled, but I like that. We're just trying different things where we place things. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Yeah? That's one variation. What about if you started with the arpeggio? 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Ba-da-da-da-da. Again. See, you're not landing on a downbeat on a strong beat. I like that, right? So I'll play that for you one more time. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Now, if I want to land on a strong beat, I could end on the third. So you see what I'm doing now is I'm combining this and extrapolating more from it. What about different fingering? Check it out. What about this one? So now I'm going to play this. Look. So what I'm doing is my idea of across 4 strings. It's a 1 octave chromatic scale here. Covers 1 full octave, doesn't it? So check it out. On this, we're moving upper fret, down a string on the descent. Upper fret, down a string, upper fret, down a string. But instead of doing that one little slide at the end, we're going to play that G. So watch this. Now, this is important. You're going to find your thumb is going to want to get left behind there, so don't forget to shift it a little bit. Now, if I take my hand away, I haven't moved my thumb. Check it out. That's where it is. So I'm trying to keep it, like I said, either just kind of between these 2 fingers or at the worst opposite there, but don't let it get dragged behind. Now, as I play this, now that was, in my mind, I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so like fast 8th notes, right? I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, not 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you can put the metronome quite fast and just play 8ths. We could also tripletize it, all right? So instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, so instead of doing this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and so on, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, right? Da-ba-da, 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 ah. Now, because there's 12 notes in the chromatic scale, it's got to line up perfectly, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. See? Now, this is kind of a cool one because you've got a stretch here. I'm going to play this as even 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Notice this one is going from G to the sharp 5 to D sharp. This is kind of a cool sound. So, this one doesn't cover a full octave. It covers from the root of my chromatic scale, in this case G, up to the sharp 5. Now, there's so many ways you could play this. I could also do this, look. I could do this. Slide there. I think I like this more. That's what I think I like. Yeah. Now, another variation is, of course, across 3 strings like this. Look. I like that too. I like the fact we're also getting used to that thing of playing a half step across 2 strings. This is sometimes going to be a fingering you're going to find useful when you're playing maybe a transcription of a horn, you know, a saxophone solo, trumpet solo, a non-bass instrument especially. You'll find that like these little chromatic passages and saxophone lines often entail you having to do this to create a smooth transition fingering-wise. So getting this under your hands and kind of seeing it on the neck and getting your hands comfortable with playing it, I think is a really good concept. All right, so there you go. Got a bunch of ideas to get you on the path to using the chromatic scale for some creative practice. Just that idea with the... So I'm thinking of this in triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was quite fun too. Dominant 7 to the 3rd and 5th beyond the octave, and then if they come back down, when I hit that low G, I go straight into a 1 octave chromatic scale. Quite like that one. There you go. Don't forget, support the channel, rufusphilpott.com. Please stop by, and if you haven't picked something up, buy one of the videos. You can book lessons. There's a contact information there. And you can also do the Buy Me a Coffee link if you just want to do a straight donation. All of it helps the channel. These videos take quite a lot of time to put together, and I really try and give you some good content. And I'll see you on the next one.